Hello, epic viewers around the multiverse. We're pretty bask in unprecedented glory because today we're going to be commencing episode 7 of Eating My Way to Optimal Health as a former raw vegan. So as you guys unequivocally know, I eat the same meals every single time I partake in eating a meal. I'm ravenous. I'm ready to gorge down this food. And my last meal I recollect taking anywhere from 18 to 20 hours to consume it. I was eating slowly. I Fletcherize every last morsel, and I want to minimize digestive stress, and I want to minimize dietary excess. I try to stretch out the meal as long as possible so that the burden, the onerous of digesting the meal is less adverse on my body. So without further ado, without further procrastination, let's get into a little digression real briefly. So the reason why it's been so long before my last meal was because I've been working. I've been conceding to working the night shift. Therefore, my circadian rhythm is out of whack, is mucked up, and it's been encroached on by this full-time job. So I implored my employer to change around my schedule. I'm not going to be working a traditional, conventional, onerous job every other day, and I'll have more time to be pursuant of my secondary job, since that full-time job has now been relegated to the status of a part-time job and is now every other day instead of each and every day. So that's been a boon thus far. But I've been eating anywhere from 2 to 3 days per week at most. I just don't have the time to eat each and every day, and it would be unaffordable to eat each and every day because the cost of food in the US is eminently overpriced and exorbitant, even though 80 to 90% of the food gets pitch purged and relegated to a repository. So that food gets discarded, which is unfortunate. Now the cost of buying tainted, non-organic fruits and vegetables from Walmart, if I were to eat each and every day, would be well over $1,000 per month. Walmart commands exorbitant prices outside the parameters of my budget. So I made one modification to the meal. As you guys know, we have broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, yellow squash, hearts of palm, carrots, okra, radishes, turmeric, ginger, some black pepper, and I have more tomatoes in the refrigerator, coconut shreds in the refrigerator, as well as avocados in the refrigerator, and black olives in cans, which I dump out when I'm ready to eat them. The olives just contain water and sea salt, so they're now submerged in a brine, but they don't contain anything else. However, to get the ones devoid of an iron supplement or a preservative, you're going to have to pay double the price. I believe the brand is Lindsay's Olives, but you can verify that for yourself. But the tomatoes are definitely a bit tender. They're past their prime. They've been ripened for quite some time. I love the hearts of palm. I love these fruits and vegetables. They're so succulent. They're so scrumptious. I especially love the savory ones like tomatoes, and I love the tart fruits like blood oranges. It's too bad that there's no blood oranges nearby to buy. I save the vegetables that have the utmost carbohydrates towards the end, so save your carbohydrate-dense foods for the end of the meal, and then eat your fat-dense foods as the last portion of your meal. I believe I also had a fruit tray, but my mother likely discarded it. It had cantaloupe and watermelon. You're not supposed to eat that in tandem with other fruits and vegetables. That should be eaten separately, but I'm so eager to eat vegetables prior to the advent of a meal that I'll likely never eat watermelon separately. I'll likely encroach on that rule if I were to eat watermelon, because I just love eating vegetables to mitigate any oxidative damage that fruit may potentially induce. So eating these foods is the optimal way to eat. I submerge them under water to retard oxidation and to minimize free radical damage. There was something else I wanted to notify you of. Yeah, I rarely eat apples. I scarcely eat apples. I seldomly eat apples because they contain minimal antioxidants. So in other words, when they're exposed to oxygen, they oxidize rapidly relative to other fruits, and they're not as nutrient dense as other fruits such as cranberries or other vegetables such as garlic, so just be wary of that. But eating apples is a sensational experience. Some of them are sour, some of them have a more mild flavor, and other apples can be more sweet. There's a bunch of different variants of apples, so choose one that best stimulates your palate. So eating these fruits and vegetables provides me with my stimuli, and to augment, to embellish this meal, I add kosher salt. This salt is coarse, it's not fine, so I prefer the texture of the coarse salt over the fine salt. And let's get into this. I just noticed as a carrot has a bunch of ridges, and between the ridges are these grooves, so it's a neat design. Sure, you can't discern how it looks too well from far away, but you get the gist of it. Just look at the sliced carrot yourself. It looks like it was churned out by a machine. It has these ridges, and then it has these grooves. It's a nice feeling to rub that carrot against your thumb. It's very soothing, to say the least. And let that thought congeal into the bowels of your mind. I guess rubbing a carrot can be a riveting, tantalizing experience, you know. I love fruits and vegetables. They're so tender, they're so soft, and they don't have any stiff, hard parts which are inedible, which is a stark contrast to carcasses, you know. When you guys eat your poultry, when you guys eat your fish, when you guys eat your steaks and your lamb chops, it's just artery clogging poison that ravages your DNA, and you can't even chew it or anything. It's just so damn hard. It's like practically chewing a rock. It's just one step down from chewing a rock, and it renders your body acidic, which creates an environment for cancer cells to proliferate in, flourish, thrive, and prosper. Eating these foods, characterized by high levels of alkalinity, allows me to avail myself of an alkaline body in which cancer cannot survive in. So if you want to terminate, eradicate, eliminate, abolish, or I should say demolish, not abolish, start with a faux pas. I need to comport myself with eloquence. But if you want to terminate stage 4 cancer instantaneously, you need to fast so that your body can fully focus on mending itself. And you need to only eat fruits and vegetables characterized by high levels of alkalinity. Cut off the cancer supply. Don't give the cancer acid. It feeds off that. These foods are non-acidic. Even the tomatoes, they leave an alkaline residue in the body post being digested. So it's time to shove these down my gullet, just one at a time. And of course, we'll start off with nothing other than the magnificent, majestic cauliflower. I'm going to be obsequious to the cauliflower. It deserves my flattery, to say the least. I love the cauliflower. Sure, it's an inanimate vegetable, but I do love praising it. And I do love lauding it, to say the least. Bear with me one brief moment before I devour this cauliflower. This cauliflower deserves its accolades, and it's chock full of phytonutrients, antioxidants, fiber, minerals, vitamins, and micronutrients. And unlike animal products, it's not protein dense, nor carbohydrate dense, nor fat dense. Sure, it contains some protein, some carbohydrates, but don't expect to significantly ramp up your protein levels, carbohydrate levels, post-eating cauliflower. Because if you do, you'll be disappointed. Now, there was something else I wanted to touch on, but the thought is eluding me. Oh yeah, now I recollect it. Your body excretes 5 grams of protein a day. You don't need any more than that. And you'll inevitably get it, even if you don't eat anything protein dense. I mean, I get at least 50 grams of protein just from my avocados per meal because I eat them in such huge quantities. So you want to profusely eat fruits and vegetables. We're frugivores at heart, as you guys know. I don't need to reiterate myself each and every time I do these videos. These fruits and vegetables will imbue me with energy, will revitalize my health, and will enhance me and augment me in every way, shape, and form. And before I commence this video, I took a nascent iodine supplement, a vitamin B12 supplement, and a vitamin D3 supplement. You always want to take your supplements prior to eating so that you can optimize absorption of your vegan supplements. The supplements I take are unequivocally overpriced and are relatively unaffordable, so I have to replace that vitamin D3 supplement, but it's outside the parameters of my budget. And then I also take, as I already mentioned, the nascent iodine supplement, which is the most expensive. It's good that vitamin D3 is fast soluble, but I've luckily exhausted it from my body. It's not going to be stored in my liver because I have a deficiency of vitamin D3, and it impinges on my health and on every organ in my body. You don't get your vitamins and minerals and nutrients, your body shuts down and malfunctions. You gotta keep your vessel afloat. It's fine to fast, but make sure you're at a healthy weight and that your body is eminently nutrified prior to the advent of you commencing a prolonged fast. You need to fast for a minimum of 24 hours if you want to enter ketosis. You enter ketosis in 24 hours by dry fasting, which is abstinence of water. You enter ketosis in 72 hours by water fasting. So I used to fast for 45 days in a row, which was roughly, actually, I mean the blender, I used to fast anywhere from 5 to 5.5 days in a row, so for 120 to 132 hours. But now, because the job I'm doing is such an onerous burden, I revamped my eating schedule. I eat when I can, when I have at least a 12-hour time window to hyper-focus on eating, and I'll dry fast for the first 24 hours before consuming water, so that way I can enter ketosis without having to wait 3 days. I can do it in one and expedite the process. The ketones eliminate cancer cells, and I could also undergo autophagy more rapidly and decimate more senescent cells, which are ravaged cells that your body should otherwise have destroyed. And I can reap the benefits of ketosis in a shorter time span. And plus I feel far less lethargic, far less debilitated if I'm shortening my prolonged fasting window. And I have more of a ravenous appetite before each and every meal. So rather than waiting 8 hours before I eat another meal within a 3-day time window, I typically now wait at least 48 hours to 60 hours before commencing the gorging of another meal, so it's easier for me to munch down on more food. Is it bestial and savage to use your hands? No. We're meant to utilize our anatomy to grapple our food, clench it, grasp it, Fletcherize it, and devour it. You don't need something comprised of alloys, nor metallic compounds, nor any of the 3 types of plastic to enjoy a meal. I love the tactile experience of eating and feeling the food. And of course, for all you meat eaters, eating food which is stiff, non-edible, and which has a rough texture. When something's coarse, sticky, and hard as a rock, I don't like the sensation of feeling it. But these fruits and vegetables are squishy, tender, soft, and just feel divine in every way, shape, and form. They fit perfectly between my pinky and the 4th finger on the left. What's that name of this finger again? I'm trying to recollect what it is. We have the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the pinky. Oh, I forgot, it doesn't matter. I'm sure this is trivial venial nonsense. So, I guess I could look it up later. I know it has a particular moniker, it just eludes me. But it's trivial and non-important and non-germane to this video. But just to borrow the cauliflower, the rest will consume on the live stream, but the video is about to end abruptly, so let's just shove this down my gullet and then into the pie hole. It will go. It's being digested as I speak. So, as you guys unequivocally know, these foods are healthy. These foods are powerful and healthy. Spartans primarily ate vegetables. The upper echelon would eat carcasses, and they would succumb to illnesses and sickness and feel drained of their stamina and energy far more often than the peasants who couldn't afford to buy animal secretions and animal carcasses each and every day. So fruits and vegetables are forged and engineered by God. God created the genome for these fruits and vegetables, and this is the way to go. Add fruits and vegetables to your dietary regimen, and only consume fruits and vegetables. Refrain, desist, and eschew whole grains, refined grains, synthetic, bastardized, adulterated, man-made, artificial products, and also never eat animal carcasses or animal secretions, and that includes foods such as dairy products, fish, poultry, etc. You get the gist of it. So, let's indulge in eating and be pursuant of self-indulgent, healthy, productive, fruitful activities that promote longevity, optimal health, and a more prosperous, auspicious, fulfilling, blissful future as characterized by resounding success and not characterized by despair, stress, and debilitation. So I hope that you found this video to be insightful and informative. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye. Unfortunately, to my dismay, OBS is in the midst of recording, so I need to reboot everything so that it can stop recording the video. But I'll continue to eat on the live stream. However, this little episode is finished. But the live stream will continue until everything is gone beyond the confines of this bowl. Because once I eat everything in this bowl, I replenish it with more fruit. I have cucumbers to eat, coconut shreds to devour, roughly 5,000 calories of coconut shreds, plus 15 to 30 avocados in conjunction with 2 to 3 cans of olives. And I'll likely eat 2 more tomatoes, which I stored in the refrigerator to prolong their shelf life. So that's coming up. Stay tuned for epicness beyond explanation.